After you've installed the HomeSite software, the Microsoft DLLs, and the QPL software on your computer, and then configured HomeSite to use it, you can go ahead and create your first QPL questionnaire project. The first step in doing that, of course, is starting up HomeSite as I have here, and then finding a base location for your project. In QPL, each project needs to be in its own directory. So for me, I have created a folder called Dooley, and inside that I keep each of my different QPL projects. Since I'm starting a new project here, Dooley is sort of my base location, so I highlight that first in the Explorer window so it'll default to that location. Then on the QPL toolbar, I hit the green New button, which will take us through the steps of creating a new folder and filling it with all the base QPL files. So here we say OK. We want to save this to a new location. So before naming the file, the main program file that it's creating, I want to go add a new folder to my Dooley directory, and for this I'm going to call this test82 for lack of a better name. And then hit enter to finish creating the folder, and then I want to double click on this folder name to open it up. So now we are in the test82 directory, and you can see that we have nothing in it yet, and so our final step is to name the file our main program file, and I'm going to name it the same as my folder directory just because it's hard for me to think of names. So I'm going to call this test82. You don't need to put an extension on it. It'll automatically add a .pgm extension when it gets saved. And also a couple other notes about file names. It's important that they start with a letter and only contain letters and numbers. File names cannot contain blank spaces or other punctuation characters. The file name that we have here will also eventually be used as the database name, which is the main reason for these restrictions. So now we hit save, and it gives us a prompt telling us that we've added the master project files into our new Dooley test82 directory. So if we hit OK, you can see it's also added a starting program called test82 into our editing area. The next step is to go open up the file folder, and in HomeSite it doesn't always refresh things right away, so if you highlight Dooley and hit the F5 key, it will refresh the file list so we can find our test82 directory. And you can see that it has the test82 program in it and then a number of other files. These are all standard QPL files that are used once the project's up on a website to actually run the website. Normally you don't have to do anything with these QPL underscore files other than keep them together in your project folder and push them out onto the web server. So now we're ready to start creating our particular questionnaire program by editing the .pgm file. So you can, if you want, hide the Explorer screen to give yourself more room to edit your program file. And when you hit the New button, it puts in a standard master program to start with. QPL, any line that starts with an asterisk is a comment line. And these are special convert options that are used to control how it builds your program. We'll get into those later. And then it starts off with some sort of stock global settings. The title of your project, the subtitle, your author's name, and various other things. In QPL, command line always starts with a period and has a keyword, and if there's an option there'll be an equal sign and then the argument for that keyword. So to change this to the title of our project, we just change the name to test82 project. Also in the program file, this is also where you put the contents of your home page, any help statement about who to contact for assistance, and then you can start writing your questions. Once you've done that, you can actually build an convert this into an HTML file by clicking on the HTML button on the QPL toolbar. So now you can see that it's created a test82 HTM file, which is the HTML version of your PGM file. Normally you don't want to edit anything in here because this will get regenerated when you make changes to your PGM file. But what you can do is click on the Browse button and see what it's going to look like as an HTML web page. So you can see it has the name of our new project, our favorite color question, who to contact for assistance, as well as various navigation buttons that actually work. These items in red are just temporary. They indicate what the question names are. These names show up later when you're analyzing your project in SAS or SPSS. So this is sort of the basic cycle of editing your program. You can switch back to the edit menu, switch back to your source program file, make some more changes, hit the compile button to rebuild the HTML file, hit browse to sort of see what it looks like, hit the edit button, and then back to the program file to make more changes. So that's your basic editing cycles: editing the PGM file, rebuilding, browsing to see what it looks like, going back to edit, and then back to your PGM file until you are happy with your project. And in the next tutorial we'll get into more details about how to create different types of questions.